Li Wei stepped out of the sleek black car onto the polished marble driveway of the Grand Hotel, its towering facade shimmering under the afternoon sun. The building stood as a beacon of luxury and sophistication, a symbol of prestige that attracted the world's elite. Yet, despite the grandeur surrounding him, Li Wei felt an unfamiliar weight pressing on his chest, an unease born not of discomfort but of isolation. As a successful millionaire from China, Li Wei was accustomed to power and respect. His name carried weight in business circles, his influence reached far beyond borders. Yet here, in this foreign land, his status seemed to dissolve into the background noise of a bustling hotel lobby filled with unfamiliar faces and tongues. He clutched his luggage tightly, his carefully rehearsed English failing him when the time came to speak. The words tangled in his mind, simple phrases slipping away as he struggled to form sentences that might be understood. The receptionist, a young woman with a practiced smile, glanced at him briefly before returning to her computer screen, her interest lukewarm and distracted. "Room, please," Li Wei said haltingly, pointing to his reservation confirmation. The receptionist nodded but asked questions he barely caught. He tried again, gesturing toward the paper, hoping the printed words would bridge the gap. Her eyes flicked down, and she typed something into the system without meeting his gaze. Behind her, other staff passed by, exchanging polite but indifferent glances. The subtle distance between them and Li Wei was palpable, a wall built not of bricks but of cultural misunderstandings and unspoken assumptions. Li Wei moved forward, the check-in process feeling cold and mechanical, stripped of the respect he was used to receiving. His carefully tailored suit and expensive watch meant little here, his wealth was invisible behind the language barrier. When he finally received his key card, the instructions were rushed, unclear. He nodded politely, masking the frustration simmering beneath the surface. Carrying his bags, he made his way to the elevator, noticing the fleeting glances from bellhops and guests alike, curious, indifferent, or sometimes dismissive. The corridors of the hotel stretched endlessly, decorated with muted colors and abstract art that felt impersonal. Li Wei's footsteps echoed as he approached his room, each step emphasizing his solitude. Inside, the room was luxurious, designed for comfort and status, but to Li Wei it felt like a gilded cage. He sank into a leather chair by the window, gazing out at the unfamiliar city skyline. The distance between him and this world was greater than miles. It was a gap in understanding, a chasm carved by language and culture. He reached for his phone, fingers hesitating over the screen as he tried to compose messages, struggling to find the right words. The silence of the room was heavy, punctuated only by the soft hum of the air conditioner. Li Wei's mind replayed the interactions in the lobby, the polite but perfunctory smiles, the clipped responses, the sense of being an outsider in a place that was supposed to welcome him. He realized that his wealth, his achievements, meant little when he could not make himself understood. Frustration welled up inside him, mingling with loneliness. Here, in the heart of luxury, he was invisible not as a man of means, but as a person. The barriers around him were not physical but deeply personal, built on misunderstandings and unmet expectations. As the evening settled, Li Wei's thoughts turned inward. He wondered how he might navigate this world that prized connection yet often failed to foster it. The isolation weighed heavily, but beneath it stirred a determination, a quiet resolve to find his place, to break through the silence that surrounded him. In the grandeur of the hotel, amidst the indifferent faces and polite distance, Li Wei's silent arrival marked the beginning of a journey not just across continents, but toward understanding, acceptance, and belonging. Maya moved quietly through the bustling corridors of the hotel, her footsteps barely making a sound against the polished floors. She was accustomed to blending into the background, performing her duties with a calm efficiency that rarely drew attention. As a maid, her work was often invisible, yet essential, making sure the rooms were spotless, the linens fresh, and the guests comfortable. She had learned to observe without being seen, to listen without drawing notice. That afternoon, as Li Wei, a guest from China, stood in the lobby looking confused and frustrated, Maya noticed him immediately. His attempts to communicate with the front desk had clearly failed, the language barrier was a wall neither side could scale. The staff around watched with polite indifference, unsure how to help and unwilling to step beyond their routines. Then Maya stepped forward. Her voice was clear and confident as she addressed Li Wei in flawless Mandarin. The words fell smoothly, effortless and precise, surprising both the guest and the hotel employees nearby. For the first time, Li Wei's tense expression softened. Relief washed over his face as he responded, his own words flowing easily now that someone understood him. The transformation was immediate and profound. What had been confusion turned to understanding, frustration to gratitude. Maya's unexpected fluency bridged a gap that no one else had managed to cross, and in doing so, she shifted the dynamic entirely. The initial interaction between Maya and Li Wei was cautious. He was polite but reserved, clearly wary of trusting someone new in a foreign place. Maya matched his demeanor with quiet patience, answering his questions and guiding him with gentle clarity. As they spoke, a tentative trust began to form, a fragile connection born of mutual respect and necessity. Back among the hotel staff, reactions varied. Some were astonished, unable to reconcile the image of the unassuming maid with the articulate speaker of Chinese. Others eyed Maya with suspicion, their attitudes tinged with doubt about her motives or capabilities. Whispered conversations sparked behind closed doors, speculation growing about how Maya had acquired such skills and why she had chosen to reveal them now. The tension was palpable. Maya sensed the shifting currents but remained composed, aware that this moment might change not only her relationship with Li Wei but also her standing within the hotel. She had stepped out of the shadows, and the consequences were uncertain. Through their exchange, Maya demonstrated more than just language proficiency, she revealed insight, empathy, and a quiet strength that challenged the preconceived notions held by those around her. The chapter captures this pivotal moment, how a single voice, unexpected and genuine, can alter perceptions, break down barriers, and open doors that once seemed firmly closed. Maya's day took an unexpected turn when she crossed paths with Li Wei, a man whose presence carried an undeniable weight of urgency and quiet desperation. What began as a chance encounter soon revealed itself to be far more complex. Li Wei's visit to the hotel was not merely for leisure or business as most guests might assume. Instead, he was grappling with a pressing crisis that threatened to unravel both his personal and professional worlds. Maya, perceptive and intuitive, sensed this beneath the polished exterior he presented to others. As she spent more time with Li Wei, she began to understand the nature of his troubles. At the heart of his turmoil lay a delicate balance between protecting his family's legacy and managing a critical business issue that demanded swift, discreet action. The stakes were enormous. A scandal or misstep could jeopardize not only Li Wei's reputation but also the financial empire he was tasked to safeguard. This looming threat cast a shadow over every interaction he had, making him guarded yet simultaneously appreciative of Maya's calm presence and unassuming wisdom. Their growing bond became a sanctuary amid the chaos. Maya's unique skill, her ability to read people and situations with a subtle, almost instinctive clarity, allowed her to offer support in ways others could not. Li Wei found in her a confidant who did not judge or pry but listened and understood. The cultural differences between them, initially a barrier, evolved into a bridge. Their conversations wove together threads of tradition and modernity, East and West, creating a tapestry of mutual respect and learning. Navigating these cultural nuances was not without its challenges. Maya was mindful of the subtleties in Li Wei's mannerisms, language, and unspoken expectations. She approached each moment with sensitivity, aware that misunderstandings could easily deepen the divide. Yet, through openness and genuine curiosity, they found common ground. Li Wei, for his part, admired Maya's adaptability and insight, qualities that helped ease his burden during an otherwise isolating time. However, the growing closeness between Maya and Li Wei did not go unnoticed within the hotel. Among the employees, whispers began to circulate, tinged with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Maya's skill, her uncanny ability to sense and influence the atmosphere, set her apart from her peers. Some regarded her with admiration, recognizing a talent that transcended ordinary service. Others, however, felt a creeping resentment, unsure of how to respond to someone who seemed to hold a quiet power within the hotel's social fabric. This undercurrent of tension added complexity to Maya's daily routine. While she remained professional and composed, the knowledge of these shifting dynamics weighed on her. She understood that her position was precarious, that the envy and suspicion brewing among some staff members could potentially undermine her efforts and reputation. Yet, she chose to focus on what mattered most: the trust she was building with Li Wei and the role she could play in helping him navigate his crisis. Li Wei's dilemma, meanwhile, grew more urgent by the hour. The business challenge he faced was multifaceted, involving delicate negotiations, hidden threats, and the ever-present risk of exposure. He was caught in a web of competing interests and alliances, where a single misstep could trigger cascading consequences. The pressure bore down on him relentlessly, yet he maintained a composed exterior, drawing strength from the connection with Maya and the brief moments of respite their interactions provided. The personal dimension of Li Wei's crisis was no less complicated. Behind the public persona was a man wrestling with fears and hopes tied to his family's future. The weight of legacy and expectation pressed heavily on his shoulders, shaping his decisions and interactions. Maya witnessed these moments of vulnerability, gaining a deeper appreciation for the man beneath the surface. Her empathy and discretion became a source of comfort, allowing Li Wei to reveal parts of himself he rarely showed to others. As the stakes rose, the pressure extended beyond Li Wei's immediate circle. The hotel itself became a subtle battleground where loyalty and suspicion mingled. Maya found herself navigating this fraught environment, balancing her duties with the desire to protect the fragile trust she had cultivated. The potential fallout from Li Wei's situation loomed large, threatening to ripple through the institution and affect many lives. In this charged atmosphere, Maya's resolve strengthened. She understood that her role was more than that of a passive observer; she was an active participant in a delicate dance of secrets and revelations. Each choice she made, each interaction she engaged in, carried weight. The convergence of personal loyalty, professional responsibility, and cultural understanding shaped the contours of this unfolding story. The evolving relationship between Maya and Li Wei was marked by moments of quiet connection and shared understanding. Through their conversations, they explored not only the immediate crisis but also broader themes of identity, honor, and resilience. The cultural exchange between them enriched their perspectives, highlighting the ways in which difference could foster growth rather than division. Yet, the undercurrent of suspicion within the hotel staff remained a constant challenge. Maya was keenly aware of the fragile nature of her position. Some employees' curiosity edged toward intrusion, while others' resentment hinted at deeper conflicts. The delicate balance required careful navigation, as any misstep could escalate tensions or jeopardize the trust she had worked so hard to build. Li Wei's predicament served as a catalyst, revealing hidden alliances and vulnerabilities within the hotel's ecosystem. The unfolding drama touched lives in unexpected ways, drawing individuals into a web of secrecy and loyalty. Maya, positioned at the intersection of these currents, became a pivotal figure, one whose insight and integrity could influence outcomes in subtle but profound ways. Throughout these trials, Maya's own understanding deepened. She recognized that secrets, while often burdensome, also held the potential to unlock new paths and possibilities. The unveiling of truths, though fraught with risk, was necessary for transformation and healing. Her journey alongside Li Wei was as much about self-discovery as it was about aiding another in crisis. As the pressure mounted on Li Wei's reputation and fortune, the urgency to find resolution intensified. Every decision carried far-reaching implications, making each moment a test of judgment and courage. Maya's steady presence provided a counterbalance to the volatility, offering a space where honesty and respect could flourish despite external pressures. The interplay of personal and professional stakes created a rich, complex narrative. Li Wei's challenge was emblematic of larger themes: power, vulnerability, and the intricate dance of human relationships. Maya's role illuminated the ways in which empathy and cultural sensitivity could bridge divides and foster understanding. In the end, the story of Maya and Li Wei was one of connection forged in adversity, of secrets unveiled with care and compassion. Their journey underscored the enduring power of trust and respect amid uncertainty. The challenges they faced were daunting, but through shared commitment and openness, they carved a path forward, one shaped by resilience, insight, and the hope that even the most delicate situations could be navigated with grace. Li Wei had always been cautious, aware that his ambitions in the business world came with risks beyond the obvious competition. Yet, even with his careful planning, he hadn't fully anticipated the hidden dangers lurking just beneath the surface. A rival businessman, keenly attuned to Li Wei's vulnerabilities, seized the opportunity to undermine his progress. This adversary, driven by envy and a desire to maintain control in the industry, began orchestrating a series of covert attacks designed to derail Li Wei's efforts. The rival's strategy was subtle yet effective. Rather than overt confrontations, he employed underhanded tactics, spreading rumors, disrupting supply chains, and manipulating market forces to create instability around Li Wei's ventures. These moves sowed doubt among investors and partners, shaking the foundation of trust that Li Wei had worked hard to build. The attacks were calculated, aiming not just to damage Li Wei's business but to break his spirit. Amid this growing threat, Maya emerged as an indispensable ally. Known for her sharp intellect and resourcefulness, Maya had long admired Li Wei's vision and determination. She understood the stakes involved and recognized the signs of sabotage before Li Wei fully grasped their extent. Drawing on her expertise and quick thinking, Maya stepped in to shield Li Wei from the mounting pressures. Maya's approach was multifaceted. She began by gathering intelligence, uncovering the web of deceit spun by the rival businessman. Using discreet channels and her network of contacts, she traced the origin of the rumors and identified key players who had been manipulated into acting against Li Wei. Her ability to analyze complex situations and respond swiftly made her an invaluable asset in this tense battle. With the evidence in hand, Maya advised Li Wei on how to navigate the crisis. Together, they crafted a strategy to counter the sabotage. This included fortifying relationships with loyal investors, transparent communication to dispel falsehoods, and strengthening operational security to prevent further interference. Maya's calm demeanor and unwavering support bolstered Li Wei's confidence during this turbulent time. The turning point came when Maya's courage and loyalty were put to the ultimate test. A direct attempt was made to compromise a critical deal that Li Wei had been negotiating, a deal that could have secured the future of his business. The rival's agents tried to intercept confidential documents and spread damaging misinformation. Maya, anticipating such a move, acted swiftly to intercept the threat. Her decisive actions thwarted the sabotage, preserving the integrity of the negotiation. This moment not only saved the deal but also sent a clear message to the rival businessman: Li Wei was not alone, and those who sought to harm him would face formidable resistance. Maya's bravery in standing up to the threat showcased her commitment and deepened the bond between her and Li Wei. It was a demonstration of loyalty that went beyond mere professional alliance. It was personal and profound. For Li Wei, the ordeal was a stark confrontation with the harsh realities of his mission. The obstacles he faced were more complex and insidious than he had imagined. Yet, through the adversity, he gained a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. He realized that success required more than vision and hard work; it demanded vigilance, resilience, and trusted allies. The drama of this chapter heightened as the battle between Li Wei and his rival intensified. Each move and countermove underscored the high stakes involved. The story revealed not just the external challenges but also the internal struggles, doubts, fears, and the weight of responsibility that Li Wei bore. His journey became a testament to perseverance in the face of betrayal and deceit. Maya's role illuminated the power of courage and loyalty in times of crisis. Her quick thinking and steadfastness turned the tide when all seemed uncertain. Her actions underscored the importance of trust and collaboration, reminding that even the most formidable challenges can be met when people stand united. As the chapter progressed, the alliance between Li Wei and Maya grew stronger, built on mutual respect and shared commitment. Their partnership became a beacon of hope amidst the shadows cast by the rivals' machinations. Together, they navigated the turbulent waters, ready to face whatever new threats might arise. This chapter offered a compelling exploration of the hidden threats that can jeopardize dreams and the extraordinary efforts required to overcome them. It portrayed a world where ambition meets deception, and where courage and loyalty shine brightest in moments of darkness. Ultimately, Li Wei's confrontation with unexpected obstacles and Maya's heroic intervention set the stage for future developments. Their combined resilience suggested that, despite the hidden dangers, success was still within reach provided they remained vigilant and united. The narrative emphasized that true strength lies not only in individual talent or vision but in the alliances forged through trust and bravery. It was a powerful reminder that in the complex arena of business and life, hidden threats are inevitable, but they can be overcome through determination, strategic thinking, and unwavering support. This chapter, rich with tension and emotion, marked a crucial step in Li Wei's journey, one defined by unexpected challenges, decisive actions, and the transformative power of steadfast friendship. The sabotage had struck at the heart of their work, unraveling months of effort in an instant. Li Wei felt the sting deeply, not just the loss of progress, but the deeper wound of betrayal. What made it harder to bear was the growing suspicion that Maya, his closest partner, might somehow have been involved, or at least complicit. The seed of doubt was planted by whispers that circled around their team, rumors fueled by misunderstandings and magnified by prejudice. Li Wei wrestled with a turbulent storm of emotions. His trust in Maya, once steadfast, began to falter as the gossip twisted their interactions into something unrecognizable. Small miscommunications, once brushed off or explained, now took on sinister overtones in his mind. Every glance, every choice she made seemed suspect, feeding the growing gulf between them. The partnership that had felt solid and promising suddenly appeared fragile and uncertain. Maya, on her part, sensed the shift as acutely as Li Wei. The unspoken tension grew heavier with each passing day, eroding the foundation of their collaboration. She was bewildered and hurt by the accusations swirling around them, feeling unfairly targeted not only by gossip but by cultural prejudices that had lingered beneath the surface. In the past, she had brushed these aside, focusing on their shared goals, but now they felt impossible to ignore. The emotional turmoil enveloped both of them in a quiet but suffocating grip. Li Wei's feelings of betrayal were mingled with confusion and guilt. Was he being fair? Was Maya truly to blame, or was he letting suspicion cloud his judgment? Meanwhile, Maya grappled with frustration and sadness, questioning whether the cultural divides they had navigated so carefully were now insurmountable. Their relationship became a mirror reflecting broader issues that neither had fully confronted before. The sabotage was more than an act of professional sabotage. It exposed underlying fractures rooted in cultural misunderstandings and biases. These elements complicated their ability to communicate honestly, layering their conflict with unspoken fears and assumptions. Both Li Wei and Maya found themselves at a crossroads. The partnership that had once been their greatest strength now seemed to teeter on the edge of collapse. The crisis forced them to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and each other. It demanded a re-evaluation not just of their trust, but of their beliefs and assumptions about loyalty, about culture, and about the nature of their collaboration. Li Wei began to question how much of his doubt was truly based on facts and how much was influenced by the prejudices that had quietly shaped his worldview. He recognized that his cultural background had instilled certain expectations and suspicions, and that these might be coloring his perception of Maya unfairly. This realization was painful but necessary, forcing him to look beyond the surface and examine the roots of his mistrust. Maya, too, faced a profound internal reckoning. She understood that the prejudices she had encountered were not just external barriers but had also seeped into her sense of self and her interactions with Li Wei. The crisis challenged her to articulate her experiences more openly, to confront the subtle biases that had been minimized or ignored. It became clear that repairing their partnership required more than clearing up misunderstandings. It required honest dialogue about the cultural tensions between them. As they navigated this low point, both recognized that rebuilding trust would not be simple or swift. It would require patience, empathy, and a willingness to listen deeply to each other's perspectives. The journey was daunting, marked by moments of doubt and frustration, but also by glimpses of hope and understanding. In this fragile space, Li Wei and Maya began tentative steps toward reconciliation. They committed to open conversations, striving to create a space where vulnerability could be expressed without fear of judgment. This process demanded humility, acknowledging mistakes, misunderstandings, and the ways their own biases had contributed to the fracture. The challenge extended beyond their personal relationship. It touched the broader context of their work and the team they led. The crisis of trust became an opportunity to foster a more inclusive and understanding environment, one that recognized and valued cultural differences rather than allowing them to divide. Li Wei and Maya's willingness to confront their struggles openly set a precedent, encouraging others to engage in similar reflections. Through this process, both began to rediscover the strengths that had drawn them together initially. Their shared commitment to their project, their complementary skills, and their respect for each other's dedication provided a foundation upon which to rebuild. The adversity underscored the depth of their partnership, revealing that trust, while fragile, could be restored when nurtured with honesty and care. The chapter traced the emotional landscape of their crisis, the bitterness of betrayal, the weight of suspicion, the pain of cultural prejudice, and the slow emergence of understanding. It highlighted the complexities of human relationships, especially when shaped by different backgrounds and experiences, and the courage required to face those complexities head-on. Ultimately, Li Wei and Maya's story was one of resilience and growth. Their crisis forced them to confront not only external challenges but internal barriers as well. It was a testament to the power of reflection, dialogue, and empathy in healing fractured trust and building a stronger partnership. Though the road ahead remained uncertain, they moved forward with a renewed commitment to each other and the work that bound them together. Maya and Li Wei find themselves at a pivotal moment, each grappling with fears that have long lingered beneath the surface. These fears are not merely personal, they are shaped by the weight of societal expectations, prejudices, and the rigid roles assigned to them. For Maya, the challenges come not only from within but also from the environment around her. Working in the hotel exposes her to judgment and stereotypes that threaten to diminish her sense of self. Li Wei faces his own doubts, wrestling with feelings of inadequacy and the pressure to conform to cultural and social norms that feel constraining. Together, they embark on a journey of self-discovery, a path that requires courage, honesty, and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. Their journey begins with moments of quiet reflection. Maya, burdened by the whispers and sideways glances of colleagues, often retreats into herself. The hotel staff's subtle exclusion and overt criticisms reinforce the barriers she faces not just as a worker but as a woman striving to assert her dignity in a space that sometimes seems designed to hold her back. She battles stereotypes that paint her as less capable or less deserving, stereotypes that echo beyond the walls of the hotel into the broader society. These external pressures intensify her internal struggle, creating a complex web of doubt and frustration. Li Wei, meanwhile, wrestles with his own set of insecurities. His upbringing and cultural background have instilled in him a strong sense of duty and honor, but also a fear of failure and rejection. He feels caught between the expectations of his family and the desire to forge his own identity. This tension manifests as self-doubt, a quiet voice that questions whether he is strong enough or worthy enough to break free from the patterns that have shaped his life. His fear is not just about personal failure, it is about disappointing those he cares for and being unable to meet the rigid standards imposed upon him. Amid these challenges, Maya and Li Wei find solace and strength in each other. Their conversations, often honest and raw, become a sanctuary where they can share their vulnerabilities without fear of judgment. Through these exchanges, they begin to rediscover respect not only for one another but also for themselves. This mutual recognition of struggle and resilience creates a bond rooted in solidarity, a powerful reminder that they are not alone in their battles. The process of rediscovery is neither quick nor easy. It involves peeling back layers of pain and misunderstanding, confronting past wounds, and challenging long-held beliefs. Maya learns to see her worth beyond the confines of her job and the stereotypes she faces. She recognizes the courage it takes to stand firm in the face of adversity, to demand respect where it has been withheld. Li Wei, in turn, begins to understand that vulnerability does not equate to weakness. By embracing his fears and uncertainties, he finds a deeper sense of strength and authenticity. This internal growth is mirrored in their interactions with the world around them. Maya's determination to assert herself at work brings both resistance and unexpected support. Some colleagues continue to uphold biases, making her path more difficult. Others, inspired by her courage, begin to question their own attitudes and behavior. These shifting dynamics highlight the complexity of societal change, how progress often meets resistance but can gradually reshape perceptions and relationships. The chapter also delves into the societal stereotypes that loom large over Maya and Li Wei. These stereotypes serve as invisible walls, restricting their opportunities and shaping how others perceive them. Maya confronts the assumption that her role in the hotel defines her abilities and worth, a misconception rooted in broader issues of class and gender. Li Wei faces cultural expectations that prescribe a narrow definition of success and masculinity, limiting his freedom to express his true self. Their experiences underscore the pervasive impact of these stereotypes and the courage required to challenge them. Despite these obstacles, the chapter's tone remains hopeful. Maya and Li Wei's journey is one of personal empowerment, marked by incremental victories and growing resilience. Their stories illustrate that strength is not the absence of fear but the choice to move forward in spite of it. Through their reflection and dialogue, they cultivate a renewed sense of purpose and determination to overcome adversity on their own terms. Their evolving relationship embodies this theme of solidarity and mutual support. By standing together, they find a shared strength that amplifies their individual courage. This connection becomes a vital source of encouragement as they navigate the challenges ahead. The chapter suggests that personal growth is often intertwined with community, that overcoming adversity is not a solitary endeavor but one enriched by empathy and alliance. Throughout the narrative, the emotional depth of Maya and Li Wei's experiences is thoughtfully explored. Their fears and doubts are portrayed with sensitivity and nuance, allowing readers to connect with their struggles on a human level. The story avoids simplistic resolutions, instead embracing the complexities of growth and the ongoing nature of change. This realism adds richness to their journey, making their eventual triumphs feel earned and authentic. Maya's determination to assert her dignity in the workplace exemplifies the chapter's focus on resilience. Her actions, small but significant, signal a refusal to be defined by prejudice. Whether it is standing up to a condescending remark or quietly excelling in her duties despite the odds, Maya embodies the strength found in perseverance. These moments accumulate, gradually reshaping how others see her and how she sees herself. Li Wei's path complements this narrative of resilience with a focus on self-acceptance. His willingness to confront his cultural pressures and embrace vulnerability opens new possibilities for personal freedom. This process allows him to redefine what strength means on his own terms, breaking free from restrictive norms. His growth highlights the importance of authenticity and the courage it takes to live truthfully, even when that truth challenges expectations. As the chapter progresses, Maya and Li Wei emerge as figures of quiet strength, embodying the theme of finding power within oneself despite external challenges. Their journey is one of hope and perseverance, demonstrating that adversity can be a catalyst for profound personal transformation. The chapter closes on a note of tentative optimism. Though Maya and Li Wei are aware that the road ahead will not be easy, they face it with renewed confidence and a deeper understanding of their own resilience. Their story serves as a reminder that true strength often lies beneath the surface, in the moments of reflection, in the courage to speak up, and in the bonds forged through shared struggle. This narrative of personal growth, determination, and solidarity resonates beyond the immediate context of the hotel or their cultural backgrounds. It speaks to universal themes of overcoming fear and prejudice, finding self-respect, and building connections that empower. Through their journey, Maya and Li Wei illustrate that strength is not always loud or visible, it is often quiet, steadfast, and rooted in the unyielding commitment to move forward despite adversity. Maya and Li Wei found themselves at a critical crossroads, their paths converging once more with a shared mission to protect Li Wei's business interests from the looming threat of a ruthless rival. The challenges ahead were daunting, but their reunion sparked renewed determination and a sense of hope. Together, they began crafting a bold strategy, one that would require wit, courage, and seamless cooperation. The rival they faced was no ordinary competitor. Known for aggressive tactics and relentless ambition, this adversary had already begun to undermine Li Wei's operations through subtle sabotage and market manipulation. The threat was clear: without decisive action, Li Wei's business could crumble, along with the dreams and hard work it represented. Maya, with her sharp intellect and resourcefulness, paired with Li Wei's deep understanding of his industry and community, formed a powerful alliance. From the start, their planning sessions were a blend of careful analysis and creative brainstorming. They pored over every detail: market trends, competitor weaknesses, legal frameworks, and potential allies. Maya brought fresh perspectives and innovative ideas, while Li Wei contributed his experience and cultural insights. Their dialogue was rich with mutual respect, highlighting the strength that comes from combining different viewpoints and backgrounds. Central to their plan was the goal of outsmarting the rival, not through brute force or confrontation alone, but through strategy that leveraged intelligence, timing, and alliances. They knew that a direct battle could be costly and unpredictable. Instead, they sought to create a situation where their adversaries' moves could be anticipated and countered effectively. To accomplish this, they identified key stakeholders whose support could tip the balance. These included suppliers, local community leaders, and business partners who had a vested interest in Li Wei's success and were wary of the rival's aggressive approach. Rallying these allies would not only strengthen their position but also demonstrate a unified front that the rival could not easily break. Building trust was essential. Maya and Li Wei reached out personally, engaging in honest conversations that emphasized shared values and the importance of protecting community well-being alongside business interests. Their approach was respectful and inclusive, bridging cultural differences and fostering a sense of solidarity. This aspect of their strategy was as much about human connection as it was about tactical advantage. As their network of support grew, so did their confidence. They began rehearsing responses to possible scenarios, preparing for the various ways the rival might attempt to disrupt their plans. Every risk was accounted for, every contingency mapped out. Maya's analytical mind and Li Wei's intuitive understanding of local dynamics complemented each other perfectly, making their preparations thorough and adaptable. The anticipation built steadily. Both knew that once their plan was set in motion, there would be no turning back. The stakes were high, not just financially, but personally and culturally. The success of Li Wei's business was intertwined with his family's legacy and the broader community's prosperity. Failure could mean more than loss of assets, it could fracture trust and hope. Their partnership itself embodied a broader theme: how trust and cultural unity could serve as powerful forces against adversity. Maya and Li Wei's collaboration transcended mere strategy, it was a testament to the strength found in embracing diversity and working together toward a common goal. Their combined strengths created a synergy that neither could have achieved alone. As the day of confrontation approached, Maya and Li Wei took moments to reflect on their journey. They recalled past struggles and the moments that had tested their resolve. Each challenge had forged a stronger bond between them and sharpened their skills. They were no longer just allies, they were a team united by purpose and respect. When the moment arrived, they faced the rival with a calm confidence born of preparation and conviction. Their plan unfolded with precision: moves anticipated, alliances activated, and responses executed seamlessly. The rival, caught off guard by their coordinated effort and the unexpected strength of their coalition, found themselves on the defensive. Throughout the confrontation, Maya and Li Wei communicated fluidly, their teamwork evident to all who witnessed it. Their shared vision and trust allowed them to adapt quickly, turning potential setbacks into opportunities. The rivals' attempts to sow discord were met with solidarity and strategic countermeasures that preserved Li Wei's interests and protected the community's stability. The outcome was not just a victory in business terms, it was a triumph of resilience, unity, and clever strategy. Maya and Li Wei had not only safeguarded what mattered most but had also set an example of how diverse perspectives and mutual respect could overcome even the most formidable challenges. In the aftermath, their alliance deepened. They recognized that their success was built on more than tactics. It was grounded in the trust they had cultivated and the shared commitment to a vision greater than themselves. Their journey underscored the power of collaboration across cultures and the importance of facing risks with courage and wisdom. The bold strategy they devised had changed the course of Li Wei's business and their own lives. It was a chapter marked by anticipation, risk, and the triumph of teamwork. Together, Maya and Li Wei had demonstrated that with trust, cultural unity, and clever planning, even the most daunting obstacles could be overcome. The atmosphere inside the Grand Hotel conference room was thick with tension, charged not only by the weight of the business negotiations taking place but also by the underlying personal and cultural stakes that surrounded the event. The room was an arena where power, pride, and principles collided, and at its center stood Maya and Li Wei, two individuals whose combined determination and intellect had been forged through struggle and perseverance. They were more than just representatives of their respective causes, they embodied the fight for justice, dignity, and recognition in a world that often overlooked or underestimated them. From the moment they entered the room, Maya and Li Wei sensed the resistance they would face. The opposing parties, established business magnates and influential figures, wielded privilege like armor, confident in their ability to manipulate negotiations to their advantage. But Maya and Li Wei, aware of the imbalance of power, did not waver. Their strategy was built on a foundation of sharp wit, unyielding resolve, and a profound understanding of the cultural nuances that framed the conflict. They were prepared to challenge not just the facts but the assumptions and prejudices that had long shaped these interactions. As the discussions unfolded, Maya's eloquence and analytical mind shone through. She deftly dismantled the opposing arguments, exposing inconsistencies and highlighting injustices that had been glossed over or ignored. Her voice carried a mix of authority and passion, refusing to be silenced by the weight of tradition or hierarchy. She drew on personal experience and thorough research, weaving a narrative that demanded accountability and fairness. Every point she made was a calculated step toward leveling the playing field. Li Wei complemented Maya's approach with a calm yet incisive presence. His deep cultural insight and strategic thinking allowed him to navigate the complex layers of the conflict with finesse. He addressed the cultural misunderstandings and biases that had fueled mistrust between the parties, bridging gaps through empathy and clarity. Li Wei's contributions were not only intellectual but also symbolic, a representation of the strength found in embracing identity while advocating for common ground. The interplay between Maya and Li Wei was seamless. They anticipated each other's moves, reinforcing their positions while maintaining a united front. Their combined resilience became a source of inspiration for allies in the room who had long felt marginalized or powerless. The atmosphere shifted as the tide of the confrontation turned. What began as a battle to defend interests became a broader discourse on respect, equality, and the recognition of diverse perspectives. However, the climax of the showdown came not with predictable concession or capitulation but through a surprising twist that altered the course of the negotiation and the perceptions of everyone present. Just as it seemed the opposition would dig in their heels, a previously silent stakeholder stepped forward with a revelation that challenged the status quo. This unexpected intervention unveiled hidden motivations and conflicts within the opposing camp, exposing fractures that had been carefully concealed. The revelation was more than a tactical move, it was a catalyst for change. It forced all parties to reconsider their positions and the underlying assumptions driving their stances. The room, once brimming with confrontation, gradually transformed into a space of possibility and renewed dialogue. Maya and Li Wei's steadfast commitment had not only won a critical advantage but had also opened the door for genuine understanding and cooperation. In the aftermath, the core conflict found resolution through an agreement that acknowledged the legitimacy of Maya and Li Wei's demands while accommodating the concerns of others. This outcome was not a simplistic victory but a nuanced compromise that respected the complexity of the situation. It demonstrated that justice and respect are achievable not through domination but through dialogue, insight, and mutual recognition. The impact of the showdown extended beyond the confines of the hotel room. It resonated with communities and individuals who saw in Maya and Li Wei's triumph a reflection of their own struggles and hopes. The chapter underscored the power of resilience, intelligence, and cultural awareness in confronting injustice. It also highlighted the importance of unexpected allies and moments of honesty in transforming deeply entrenched conflicts. Maya and Li Wei emerged from the confrontation changed as well. The experience deepened their understanding of themselves and each other, strengthening their resolve to continue advocating for equity and respect in broader arenas. They recognized that this victory, while significant, was part of a larger journey, a continuous effort to break down barriers and redefine power dynamics. Ultimately, the showdown was a testament to the complexity of human interactions in high-stakes situations. It revealed that beneath surface disagreements lie intricate webs of history, identity, and emotion. Navigating these requires not only strategy but also humility, openness, and courage. Maya and Li Wei's story became an inspiring example of how determination and collaboration can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds, paving the way for a more just and inclusive future. In the aftermath of the events that had unfolded, the dynamics between the characters and within the community experienced profound shifts that would leave lasting impressions. At the center of these changes was Li Wei, whose newfound respect for Maya became a pivotal force driving transformation. Where once there may have been doubt or skepticism, Li Wei now saw Maya's courage and strength clearly. This respect was not superficial or fleeting. It deeply influenced his perception of her and opened doors to opportunities that neither of them could have anticipated before. Maya, whose bravery had been the catalyst for the change, found herself stepping into a new phase of life marked by possibility and recognition. Her courage had not only challenged existing prejudices but had also demonstrated the power of standing firm in one's convictions. As a result, Maya's reputation grew beyond the confines of her immediate surroundings. She was no longer seen merely as an individual fighting personal battles but as a symbol of resilience and empowerment. This shift brought with it new opportunities, professional, social, and personal, that reflected her true potential and the respect she had earned. For Li Wei, the transformation was equally significant. Witnessing Maya's strength firsthand prompted him to re-evaluate his own views and attitudes. The respect he developed was rooted in a genuine understanding of Maya's experience and the challenges she faced. This change led him to become an advocate for inclusivity and fairness, using his influence to promote a more equitable environment within their shared community. Through this evolution, Li Wei not only grew as a person but also became a catalyst for broader change, fostering unity where division once reigned. The ripple effects of this transformation extended to the hotel staff, whose attitudes underwent a marked shift. Previously, the staff may have harbored biases or maintained rigid views that limited their interactions and understanding of those around them. However, the events that transpired challenged these preconceptions, encouraging a culture of empathy and openness. The hotel became a place where diversity was not only acknowledged but embraced as a source of strength. Staff members began to see the value in learning from one another's differences and recognized that understanding fosters a more harmonious and productive environment. This shift within the hotel staff reflected a deeper, more systemic change. It was no longer enough to merely tolerate diversity, there was a conscious effort to celebrate it and to ensure that respect and fairness were foundational principles. Training sessions, conversations, and policy changes underscored this new commitment. The staff's transformation symbolized the breaking down of barriers that had previously divided them, and their renewed attitude contributed to a more welcoming and inclusive atmosphere for guests and employees alike. At the heart of these changes was a broader message of unity. The story demonstrated how individuals from different backgrounds and perspectives could come together to create something stronger and more compassionate. Maya's courage was a beacon that illuminated the possibility of overcoming prejudice and misunderstanding. Li Wei's evolving respect highlighted the importance of listening and learning from others. The hotel staff's collective shift embodied the power of community and shared purpose. Together, these elements formed a narrative that celebrated the strength found in embracing differences rather than fearing them. Empowerment was another central theme woven throughout the narrative's conclusion. Maya's journey illustrated how standing up for oneself and one's beliefs can ignite change that extends far beyond the individual. Her actions empowered not only herself but those around her, inspiring others to find their voices and challenge the status quo. This ripple effect demonstrated that empowerment is contagious and that acts of courage can create waves of transformation within communities. The story suggested that when individuals claim their power, they become agents of change, capable of reshaping their worlds in profound ways. Breaking barriers was equally emphasized as a vital takeaway. The story showcased the dismantling of both visible and invisible obstacles, whether they be social prejudices, institutional biases, or personal fears. Maya's courage shattered assumptions about what was possible, while Li Wei's change of heart showed that even entrenched views could evolve. The hotel staff's embrace of diversity highlighted the practical steps that institutions can take to foster inclusion. Together, these elements painted a hopeful picture of a future where barriers no longer dictate relationships or opportunities. The conclusion of the story was imbued with a hopeful and optimistic tone. It underscored the idea that change, while often challenging and complex, is attainable when individuals and communities commit to respect, understanding, and collaboration. The narrative suggested that no matter the obstacles faced, unity and empowerment offer a path forward, one that leads to richer, more meaningful connections and shared success. This hopeful outlook encouraged readers to believe in the possibility of new beginnings, where past divisions give way to collective growth. Maya's story, in particular, served as a powerful example of how one person's courage can inspire transformation on multiple levels. Her journey from challenge to empowerment resonated as a universal message about the strength of the human spirit and the importance of advocating for justice and respect. Li Wei's evolution reinforced the idea that personal growth and openness to change are essential in building bridges across differences. The hotel staff's transformation embodied the potential for institutions to reflect and enact the values they wish to promote. Overall, the chapter illustrated how relationships and reputations could be rewritten through empathy, courage, and mutual respect. It highlighted the interconnectedness of personal and collective progress, showing that individual actions can ripple outward to create broader societal shifts. The narrative celebrated the triumph of unity over division and the power of embracing diversity to enrich and strengthen communities. This chapter's message resonates beyond the immediate story, inviting readers to reflect on their own attitudes and relationships. It encourages a commitment to fostering inclusion, standing up for what is right, and recognizing the transformative power of respect and understanding. Through the characters' journeys, the story offers a blueprint for new beginnings, ones that prioritize connection, empowerment, and the breaking down of barriers that separate rather than unite. In this way, the chapter closes on a note of promise and possibility. It affirms that no matter the difficulties encountered, change is always within reach when people choose to act with courage and compassion. The future, though uncertain, shines brighter when built on the foundations of unity and respect. Maya, Li Wei, and the hotel staff symbolize this hopeful vision, demonstrating that together, a more inclusive and empowering world can emerge.